How much is your dream game worth? How much would you be willing to spend, and not just in money? Is it $100? 2 years? Maybe you're willing to trade off your kidney on black market for a chance to just look at your dream game. Much like box of chocolates made by a child, you may find yourself snacking on crayons. That is Star Citizen. But before that, if you do enjoy my content and want to support a little bit more, well, I do appreciate even a potato a month. So head to my Patreon page, link down below. In media outside of Star Citizen community, you may see some absurd headlines like Star Citizen raked in $60 million in crowdfunding, or that it's been 4 years since the original promise to make a game, yet the end is nowhere in sight. And while sure, they might be sensationalizing things a little, in fact, at this point it's closer to $400 million, and it's been 9 years since that original promise. And yet, like a constipated stewardess eating Imodium-laced food for a hope of relief, the fans of this project are in the same exact situation, getting turbo constipation. Frankly speaking, it's such a massive beast, this Star Citizen project, that my petty little remarks won't do the justice to all the good or the bad, all the amazing looking models and vistas, or the nepotism and lack of progress. So fuck it, let me tell you my little adventure being a sucker who knowingly joined the supersonic Vomitron for a sheer spectacle. This is what Star Citizen has been and is today. Back in the days when naive children were running free and careless, back when you could go to the pub and get beaten for the fun of it, back in the magical far gone and near forgotten year of 2017, a young Latvian decided to throw away his potato money for a whole year and buy a pledge. Gosh darn it, burn his money on the Chris Roberts altar to take a closer look at this doohickey they called Star Citizen. It's interesting to note that at the time I was nearing to the end of my wildly successful quote-unquote ship review series, and I thought, well, smack my balls and call me Suzanne. Star Citizen does have ships, even ones that are not just in JPEG format. Now I could grope those polygons too for everyone's voyeuristic enjoyment. And so, after being confused as fuck navigating their weird website as if it was meant to be obscured as fuck, I managed to load 40 gigs worth of space porn onto my unsuspecting drive. Oh, and because these dipshits watching will be asking, yes, you fucking idiots, it wasn't the fucking SSD! Jesus fucking Christ, it's like listening to the Howling Monkeys with these people. Anyways, as the launcher loaded up, I thought, aren't we presumptuous? Launch game button. Well, someone's being more optimistic than American presidential election voters. Ha! Well, regardless, I needed a good joke to start my day. Still, let's see where it leads. After what felt like hours of loading screen, I finally loaded into, no, not the presumptuous gameplay, but the main menu. For the gameplay, I had to wait even longer. But eventually, after reaching the ripe old age of 80, I finally got to log in. And subsequently got booted out because the server crashed. Okay, fine, that was just a joke. That only happens today. And the funniest thing, no lie, every time you try to criticize or even say something's not good about Star Citizen, the hardcore comes out saying, well, Elite dangerous, and then follows up with some stupid rhetoric, as if that's gonna invalidate the critique. Or shit you not, there are some in the comments, go check it out. Anyways, I loaded up in the space station and got off my bed. What I was greeted upon my lounging was horrific, abysmal, and downright terrifying frame rates that nearly gave me a stroke. I know console peasants are kinda used to this sort of a thing, but we're talking about PC, not your average corporate toaster. This was not looking well, as my first taste of the hyper-poly triangle jizzing adventure was soured by the taste of dog shit. Still, I was curious, what were everyone raving about? I could see for myself, what is that great aspect that wannabe pretender game has? What am I missing? After looking intensely at some polygons, Yes, I conclude that this is high detail. And so were other places, actually. Still, being a shooter game fan, I expected the character not to act like a Jello man, where every action takes longer acceleration and animation time than a female orgasm. But okay, fine, I can stomach that too. Let's just get to that cherry atop of a cake. The ships that everyone's raving about so much. Well, being poor, all I got to look at was my Alpha 2.6 Mustang Alpha ship version. A ship that with Cloud Imperium coder capability was probably the most buggiest yet functional, well, relatively speaking, ship out there. So I got to my knees underneath my multi-polygon steed and pleasured it till its undercarriage flopped out. I was able to squeeze myself into it. I probably felt like a poor person with this most basicest ship in the galaxy. Figuring I needed to do more than just grope my ship on the landing pad, which seems to be about 90% of the gameplay anyways for a lot of people, I thought, well, hey, if this is supposed to be a game, well, what kind of a gameplay can I have? And so I proceeded to first do a satellite mission Placeholders that all were exactly the same boring garbage, where the actual gameplay ended up being me wrestling with the fucking controls, horrible FPS, and mechanics as if it was the SummerSlam in WWE. Okay, well, I thought maybe I picked up some sort of a work-in-progress stuff. What else we got? Well, we got, box mission! Before landing on the planet and actually picking up said box, I properly managed to experience the blip moment, where my ship's velocity caused spontaneous explosion to occur near my general area due to disagreement with the hyperpolygon surface of a planet. Now, having learned this valuable lesson of excess thrusting at the big booty bitches, I went in gentle to find myself picking up a placeholder box and delivering it to another placeholder building elsewhere. Fuck me, I thought. Is there anything finished here beside the concept idea for the ships? And that was my first impression. As the time passed on, I witnessed every update come and go, and the fandom's more, shall we say, inclined characters always saying that the current version sucks and there's a lot of issues, but trust us, trust in the Robert's twinkle, the next version will solve everything. Then a few months pass and a new version comes out and we do the silly dance again. Today though, I'm genuinely curious, as Star Citizen is nearing closer and closer to Duke Nukem Forever development hell milestone of 12 years. While Duke had financial and, well, Randy Pitchford problems, can Star Citizen really claim that they want for anything? It is the most funded video game in the whole world, yet the most basic foundation level functions of the game, like physics, are still just as horrible as it was back in 2017 when I picked it up. Instead of improving mechanics and finishing gameplay with every version, it seems that Roberts and company are spitting out new concept ideas for half-baked visions. And of course the gullible ones forget that the fucking system map that's been there for years is more defective than homeopathic medicine is actually curing cancer. Time and time again, I remember my first day testing this alpha, and comparably, barely any of the foundational mechanics and features actually have been improved and developed to a level that would give me hope that this could ever be done. Seriously, physics are just as wonky, unreliable, and unpredictable on foot, UI is just as bad, frame rates are horrible on top-end hardware, and I know that it's alpha and you don't optimize then, but you release this to the public as your most finished version of the game. So you have to do it. So how can you continue making pointless headline-grabbing features when the basics seem to be on life support? And of course from the crowd somebody yells, but they've done so much, they've put in 3 more planets, 2 big cities, and like 20 new ships. That's progress, dude. I'm gonna go buy them right now to prove you wrong. Now, of course, the mega whales that are attracted to this sort of a project are well taken care of, which are a small minority, yet they can boast about their spending issues and general wealth without the slightest hint of pay to win or decadence. But for the rest of us, for actual customers and fans, the question still remains, especially now the longer it goes on. Will this ever be done? Frankly, it's pretty funny to see such developers as Unknown Worlds Entertainment that made both Subnautica games started both of those games similarly in raw alpha states, yet comparably consistently kept on working and delivering actual progress and, in timely manner, released both games. And sure, they are smaller ones, but that's not the point. their development, while not as open or transparent, actually produces results without the need for highly polished mouthpieces and figureheads telling everyone, "Trust us!" I like a good look behind the scenes, yet this, what Star Citizen is calling progress, looks, feels, and smells like bullshit busy work. And either that's due to management lacking any and all understanding how to manage a project like this, or just a general incompetence being thinly veiled as breaking new ground in technology. Even the simpler missions still are incredibly placeholdery, so even if the core mechanics were broken or undeveloped, at least you could say that there is gameplay. But frankly, bringing equally sized boxes or sitting in a satellite for 15 minutes with nothing happening, or shooting the world's worst NPCs with a brain-dead AI is not what I would call fulfilling or even promising gameplay. While PvP-wise, unless you have spent extra money or countless hours grinding these placeholder missions for those fancy ships, it too will be a very tilted experience due to horrible performance even in that minigame. There really is still just one thing the Star Citizen succeeds in: the visual spectacle. And that's, in today's world, that 2021 is starting to look rather mediocre. The longer it goes on, the less special this thing will be. But hey, maybe selling $1,000 spaceship JPEGs till the time ends is the plan now. Who knows? But I sure will continue observing this mess, and whether it's going to be another Duke Nukem Forever, but far worse, or the next best thing since sliced bread is really up to developers. From what I've seen within my 4 years of following the progress, I'm not impressed. Also, where the fuck are the pets? It's been over 4 years and still no information about the fucking pets!